quick lesson in the power of seizing the moment. Big Paul Castellano became the boss of the Gambino family when Carlo Gambino died. Many of the soldiers in that family didn't like Paul. They looked at him as more of a businessman than a gangster. But the boss is the boss, and no one dared to make a move on him. So time later, members of John Gotti's crew were indicted for drugs. This was a big no-no in the mob. Back in the 60s, the mob had a you deal, you die policy, which banned the sale and trafficking of narcotics, which isn't totally true. I think it was more of if you get caught selling or trafficking narcotics, you die. And not only were they indicted for drugs, one of the guys was caught on a wiretap. This put John Gotti in a dangerous position, because by right, Paul could whack out John and his entire crew. But Paul told Gotti he wanted a copy of the wiretaps. He wanted to know exactly what was said. Also, if he was mentioned on these taps, he could prepare himself for any up-and-coming legal issues. But Gotti and his crew refused to release the tapes. Now any other boss would have dealt with this very aggressively. But at this time, Paul was arrested for RICO charge, then he was arrested again for another RICO case. During this time, Gotti came up with a plan to assassinate Big Paul. But how was he able to do this? Well, Gotti, who never really respected Paul being the boss, used his charisma to convince a few well-respected made men in the family that Paul had slighted to go along with the plan. And on December of 1985, Big Paul was killed. And John Gotti became the new boss. Paul's mistake was giving Gotti time to stall. Once he demanded the taps and they refused to give them up, his next move should have been to get rid of that entire crew. Paul knew how a lot of the guys in his family viewed him, and by not properly addressing this issue, it showed weakness. And as a leader, you can never show weakness like that.